And it's on.
Silence, Michael.
Live now, yeah.
Just letting them know it was on.
All right, everybody. Welcome to SCFC Fan TV and Thursday Night Live with myself, Sean Middleton. We have Michael Bowers. We have Conrad. We have Jacob Kirkbride. We have Dino. And this week on the show, we have another YouTuber, a guy who I've got a lot of respect for. He's got a great channel, great content, and he's a lovely lad too. It's Gilesy.
Cheers, lads.
It is, mate.
Welcome, man.
Thanks for coming on, Gilesy. How you feeling?
Well, could be better under the circumstances.
Remember as well, obviously in the live chat, if you put anything in there, we'll shout it out. If you remember to subscribe to our channel, obviously we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So please subscribe to our channel; it'll be very much appreciated. Right, let's get straight into it anyway. I was going to start with the game on Tuesday, but first of all, I want to get the score predictions of the game on Tuesday night, which finished, thankfully, Sunderland 2, Ipswich 1. Michael, can you remember your score prediction?
1-1, I believe. I think it was 1-1.
Obviously, Dino was on the channel. Conrad, did you predict a score?
Yeah, I said 2-1, Charlie White and a Ledbetter penalty, and some Bishop bashing from Wee Philly or something.
Dino, what score would you have put if you'd been on the show?
I didn't think we'd win. I thought we'd scrape a draw, so I would have said 1-1 to be fair.
Right. Jacob, what was your score prediction?
2-1 to the lads. Got it right.
Yeah, you got it right. But can you remember what you said? You said that they'd score first, so that means that's wrong.
No, come on. No. I'm not letting you have that. I got the scoreline right. That's all that matters.
Right, and I predicted.
George, devastated.
I predicted 2-0 to Sunderland. Wee Philly, who is obviously, unfortunately, for the next few weeks, he's working because he's we all know now he's the main grafter in Sunderland. So he won't be doing the Thursday shows for, I think, until after Christmas now. But he will be back on Sunday. And unfortunately, Terry is the my mistake. He's moving house, so he'll not be on. I'm not sure if he'll be back Sunday. Hopefully, fingers crossed he will be. Right, I'm just gonna go to the live chat. I think until after Christmas now, but he will.
We've got a lovely little echo going on here.
Yeah, you might want to turn that down, Sean.
Right, also the live chat. Jack Dodds there. Associate Cameron Joe, this says evening lads. Umar McMC, Clayton Edwards, Thean SCFC on the chat. Right, first of all, let's go to the game on Tuesday. 2-1 victory, massive game. We got 3 points. Personally speaking, I don't think it was a great performance, but it's a win. And end of the day, it's against another top side. Michael, how would you assess the performance?
Not as good as it wasn't as good as our live stream. Put it that way. It was first 30 minutes. I thought was actually very good. I thought Sunderland pressed Ipswich. They got into their faces a lot, winning a lot of the second balls in the midfield battle, which I think Josh Scowen was a large part to do with that. I've seen a few mixed reactions from Scowen from Tuesday. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I thought he was the best player on the park by some distance in the first half. Once Ipswich scored, that did tend to rock our boats a bit. We just didn't seem to be able to recover and react from that. But, you got to be fair, I'm quite glad we got to half time when we did because they looked like they were in the ascendancy and could have gone 2-1 up if we weren't careful. The sending off, probably for the second game in a row, the sending off did definitely change the game. I'm sure we'll debate the red card later on. But, just 2 games in a row, obviously, we've had an opponent sent off, which I know a lot of people might like to look at it and go, oh, well, we've been lucky because of the opponents going down to 10 men. But at the end of the day, if Sunderland didn't win those games, we'd be having a totally different conversation. You can only beat what's put in front of you from there. So I did think the penalty was very soft, mind. I didn't, when I've watched it back, I mean, I know that by the letter of the law, it's a handball, but like that just looks stupid. That's like an absolute daft rule. So if I was an Ipswich fan, fair enough if they felt aggrieved not getting anything from it. But good win, though. Good win. For me, those type of games, it doesn't matter as much about the performance as long as you get the result by whatever means necessary. Move on to the next games coming up.
Right, Gilesy, 2-1 victory. Were you happy at the end of the game?
Well, for the first 35 minutes, I was happy. Like Michael's just said there, we were the better team in the first 35 minutes. We were pushing them back, pressing them up high. they couldn't string two passes together, but like overall when they scored, they were coming on top of us, and I could see it being 2-1, just exactly like what Michael just said there. And I was thinking, I'm praying for half time, and then obviously Scowen went off for concussion. It was like a free kick and it hit him in the face, and you could see his neck whipped back, and he wasn't the same after that. But I was the man of the match in my eyes, like man of the half, if I can get my words out.
Yeah.
But we ground out the victory. We've done what we needed to be done. We didn't play the best in the beginning of the second half, but then we grew into the game in the later stages, and I was just over the moon that we beat them. To be fair, it was a big test for Parkinson. Like even Powell, when he come on, Powell was playing well. Powell looked a total different player from the Gillingham game. Mm-hmm. So I was over the moon with the victory in the end.
Conrad, what do you make of the 2-1 victory? That puts us in sixth on 21 points with a game in hand. Happy days?
Yeah, it does feel that though every time we have a game, and even if we get a result, we're still in fifth or sixth, no matter what seems to happen at this point. I know it's early days though, but I was obviously happy with it because I mean, me and Michael were saying a couple of weeks back we'd take 7 points from the 9 of Gillingham, Rochdale, and Ipswich, and we thought we'd get the draw off Ipswich but beat Rochdale. But I'd rather have it this way. We've beaten someone who's going to be up there with us, which is what a lot of people say is always the things we can't seem to do. Granted, we still need to take more points off the sides lower down.
Yeah,
no disrespect to them. Yeah, exactly. I do just want to say, Sean, I got a comment on the chat just saying my jumper is lovely. Yes, it is from the 07-08 season. The training shirt, it's lovely, isn't it?
Right, Jacob will come to you. I'm just going to read a few of the comments out on the live stream. Matt and Tweeter said, Gilesy the man. Please grown some grey hair and can't stick a cap on. That was Jack Dodds. India Graham says, so disappointed Dave the Rave isn't on as a special guest. Oh. Well, I sit with him during the games, and I'm glad he's not on. Actually, no disrespect to him, but we don't need much to do. We just talk to us all the way through. So, you know, the Bristolian Mattam says, hello, gentlemen. Kate Edwards obviously says, Dino, just winning. Do you ever crack a smile? Was that
there you go.
There it is. Picture, take a picture.
Me resting bitch face.
Right, anyway, 2-1 victory, Jacob. You predicted the score. Happy days, Jacob.
Yeah, very good result considering at the start of the season we predicted Ipswich would be right up there. A very good team performance. I thought it was very hard to pick out a man of the match. Scowen did well. Charlie Wyke, his physicality in the first half, Ipswich defence honestly couldn't handle him and took his goal brilliantly. I thought we allowed Ipswich slightly too easily to get back into the game, but overall I thought we were in control throughout most of it. I never really saw them having clear-cut chances in the game. I thought our defence remained solid. I know there's been a few Ipswich fans saying on social media about the red card decision that went against them second half and the handball for the penalty, but if you're going to get sceptical refereeing decisions, you might as well take advantage of it, and we did that. 2-1. Also, shout out to YouTuber Alex Griffin, Ipswich fan, for allowing me to come on his stream at halftime. Yeah, just overall fantastic performance. We need to use this now as a backdrop to build going forward and just try and ground out these type of results. Not playing the best to our ability, but just getting over that finishing line, and we did that on Tuesday night. I think was a few comments saying that our passing's been slightly poor, but to be honest, I don't think we're really a passing team anymore. I think Phil Parkinson now, he's encouraging a lot more of our players to get balls into the box towards Charlie Wyke, and right now it's working. Every ball we put in, it looks like he's just showing willingness to get on the end of it, and he did that for the first goal. Yeah, just a fantastic performance.
Cheers, Joe. I just going back to live chat before I get to Dino. Omar McMassey says credit to Conrad and his editing skills, and he is absolutely brilliant as well. Conrad,
cheers, thank you.
Does a fantastic job. Thanks for that, Omar. Thean says Grant Ledbetter was man the match the other night. It's a good shout. Ryan Cotton says get Dave the rave on. Clayton Edwards has just said, Sean, what colour shorts have you got on tonight? Remember the pink?
Oh,
There's the pink one.
Right, Dino.
Hello.
2-1 victory. 6th in the table on 21 points. Can we start believing now, Dino?
It's still a bit early. Still a bit early. There's still a long way to go. I mean, teams get off to good starts and then fade in the middle and fade towards the end. So you can't really say this is our season yet. I think you've got to get to about 30 games before you make a statement. We're going to be up there, because you can easily lose. Like, look at Parkinson's reign when he first came in. He didn't win a game for about 2 months. If you remember, went on that bad run, and it can still happen. Injuries play a part. But on the game, I didn't see the first half because I was at football, but I have seen the goals back. Well done, Charlie Wyke. He's proven me wrong the last couple of games. He's been strong. He's winning aerial battles like he never used to do. And the finish was really nice. He held his man off. It was a good through ball by Gooch. I thought Gooch had a canny little game. And it was actually a nice through ball for a change instead of one in the air. Yeah. So well done to Charlie Wyke and Gooch for linking up. Their goal, people are blaming Birch. I don't see how we can blame Birch. It hit the post. I mean, that means it's a good shot. You know, if it hits the post, it can either bounce back out or go in. There's only two ways that's going to go in. Good finish. Second half, to be fair, I thought we were the best team in the second half. I really do. When them got their man sent off, which I still don't believe was a red card. Like I don't believe it was. I thought it was a bit soft. But you'll take it either way. You'll take it either way. Red card, 10 men. But to be fair, people said the game 10 men changed the game. I don't think it did. To be honest, I think it put more pressure on us, because when a team goes down to 10 men, you're expected to go on and win. And if you don't get that goal, people will start criticising you. Oh, they had 10 men for 20 minutes, stuff like that. The penalty, I must admit, it's a bit harsh. If that went against us, I'd be fuming, because the lad's not intentionally meant to handball the ball, is he? I mean, it's going away from his goal. His hand's up there and he's brought it back into the box with his own hand, which is unfair. But well done, Ledbetter, sticking it in the bottom corner. I don't get why players still go up the corners to celebrate when there's no one there. Like, that still baffles me. I don't know why.
I did think that. I did wonder where you off.
And he slid in the corner. I was like, I don't know, unless that was the corner where the Ashes were. I'm not 100% sure. But when them went down to 10 men, I honestly thought in the last 5 to 10 minutes, them really pressured us. Them were on their front foot. I thought we backed off a lot. And the only chances them had in the second half were by our own mistakes, by Flanagan miscontrolling balls. I mean, the nearly did score due to Flanagan not being able to control a ball, what Luke O'Nien played across the back. But overall, I'll take a 2-1 win against Ipswich, and I didn't think we played that badly. I really didn't. I thought second half we absolutely dominated until the last 10 minutes. But well done to the lads. Good 2-1 victory, and then on to the next game. I'm not really bothered about the FA Cup and the Checker Trade or Papa John or whatever. I want the next league game. That's where it matters, the league.
Yeah, well said, Dino. Back to the live chat. Remember, if you subscribe to our channel, just put your name in the live chat and I'll give you a shout out. I want to say a shout out to Wayne Duran, who's a great supporter of the channel. He always supports us on Twitter, retweets everything we do. But thanks, Wayne. Shout out to Joanne Punchin, who says, no, defo pink tonight.
Is that your girlfriend?
No, she's married.
Oh, right, sorry.
Anyway, right, first on the first subject, I've got a few here, but let's get this started straight away. Phil Parkinson, has he got a plan B? And is it a bit worrying that he's not making the subs early enough? Giles, I'll go with you first.
Sometimes it is, well, 99% of the time it's worrying because you're waiting and waiting and waiting. Apart from the Ipswich game, he did make early substitutions, which I was surprised at. Obviously, with Scowen gone off, it was half time. And I think it was it the 65th minute he made the next one?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Something like that. So he's improving. I think he got the setup right for the Ipswich game. I was out with the moment with that because, to be honest, he hasn't been doing the right decisions in my eyes up until only, really, to be fair, only the Ipswich game. I thought the substitutions, they dropping, was it Power and it was something else?
It's Dobson. It was Dobson and Power he dropped for that.
Dobson, sorry, Dobson. Open forget Dobson, Jesus. It was so to drop them two, I thought, well, he's shown a bit balls, you know what I mean, dropping his captain. And it done the world of good, because when he come on against Ipswich, Power did look a little bit better than recent games. So you've got to give him props for that, you know what I mean? Like, dropping your captain, tack some balls, thing and that. And then for the captain to play well when he does come on, I just thought it was all right. He's done well.
Conrad, Parkinson, plan B. Is it a bit worrying there isn't no plan B?
Yeah, it is. When, if you look at the Portsmouth game on its own, then yeah, it is worrying when a team figures us out and it's evident after like 4 minutes you've been found out that you don't have anything else to do. But if we look at all the other games, have we needed a plan B for our points, for any like wins or for a draw or something? We're getting the points out of them, so it's clearly working. And we've only really been found out once, and you know, I don't know. I'd love to have a plan B, of course, but then you also have to look at the players we have. Like, what other system could we play that would suit everyone in that team? At the minute, we were playing a similar system to this last season, and Charlie White wasn't scoring, wasn't nudging defenders off the ball, but like Gooch and Maguire were contributing more with them in the attack. Whereas now he is contributing, he is getting into the spaces, and he is taking defenders on, but the others necessarily aren't contributing because they don't have to as much this time. So I don't know. I've sort of tied myself up in a circle here, but like, I don't know. We don't need a plan B if plan A is working.
Good point. Jacob?
I think Parkinson, when it comes to defending a lead, I think he's good at bringing on the right subs for us to get over that line. But I do agree with some fans, when we go a goal down in games and we're chasing the game, in terms of him having a plan B and bringing on the right players off the bench, I think he's a little bit stubborn, in my opinion, because one, he does them too late, and two, he doesn't bring the right players on that we need that can inject a lot of pace and energy into the side. I think it's more players that can come on, and so we can be more one direct and like try and nick a scrappy goal or something like that. But that's just the way Parkinson is, to be honest. But it is a little bit concerning, because over the course of the season we will have games like that where we may end up switching off and go a goal down in games, and then it's up to not only the players, most importantly, but also the manager to have the right attitude in order to change things. But right now, it's all about just taking one step at a time. And Parkinson, at the moment, he's doing that, so credit's where it's due. But yeah, it's just taking one game at a time. But I do get the fans' concern.
Dano, Parkinson, obviously, he hasn't got a plan B. Is it a concern?
No, it's not a concern. I mean, let's be fair. Most of the managers we've had never had a plan B. That was even in the Prem. Most managers don't have a plan B. It's only the best managers in the world who have a plan B, because they've got the players to utilise a plan B. I mean, when we had Big Sam didn't have a plan B. His was just the same, but we had the players where you could like get away with playing the same style. Whereas in League One, you don't really. For me, styles in League One don't really. It's not a big thing for me. It's 11 men on the pitch. About all of them are like the similar standard. It's about who wants it more, who's going to have the balls to like take responsibility. I don't believe in styles in League One, because you don't have the quality in League One to make different styles. His substitutions are frustrating, don't get us wrong. When you can see, like the likes of the Rochdale game, you can see Dobson and Max Power are playing piss poor. Bring one of them off. You've got Scowen there, and you've got, well, you didn't. I don't think you had Ledbetter. Was it Ledbetter? So someone wasn't there. I can't remember who it was. But you've got a midfielder who can come on, take Dobson off because he's absolutely having a mare against Rochdale, and he brought Maguire off. I mean, that baffles me. That baffles everyone. I mean, when you can see Maguire, he didn't have the best of games against Rochdale, but he can nick you a goal. Dobson couldn't pass the ball 5 yards without getting it intercepted or taking it off him. So that's the only worry for me with Parkinson. But I've realised with Parkinson, he's full of shit. In that game, he said that was the best passing he's seen, unbelievable passing. But then he drops his 2 centre midfielders. So what does that say? So you say, we had a good game, but you drop them. So it just shows he doesn't know what he's talking about sometimes. But I'm not worried about plan B, because not many managers have a plan B. You've just got to you just got to keep rolling with it, and hopefully the players will dig you out the shit.
Well said, Dino. Ryan Cotton on the live chat says, "What's the odds on Bowers coming on as the next manager?" I'm going to put a bet on that. And Dave
announced relegation.
Dave the Reeve is his assistant. Stephen Hindle in the live chat. He says, "I'm sorry, but Parkinson's still out. He just doesn't like him. You know what I mean?"
You know what, Sean? Sean, do you know how you had the Jack Ross thing where he couldn't get anything he done? You were always against him. That's the same with Stephen, and you've got really bad hatred towards Parkinson. I think it's the same what you had with Ross.
Who was it in the chat last week who said Parkinson does have a plan B? His plan B is revert to plan A.
Michael, if you understand this.
No, I was clearing my throat. My throat's just been a bit funny. I'll answer it anyway. Yeah, I think the comment that Conrad was referring to, I can't remember who said it, but in saying that, his plan B basically is hope plan A works and screw it if it doesn't work, by the sound of it. Yeah. For me, if you look at these next two games coming up, which is Mansfield in the FA Cup and Fleetwood in the Tim Pot Trophy, why not use that? Why not use the? Yeah, I'll believe it is Tim Pot in the minute. But in saying that, why not use both of those games as an opportunity to try and implement a different style? Because let's be honest, if we try this against Mansfield and we get knocked out, yeah, it's not going to be great. Don't get me wrong, but like, boo-hoo, we're out of the competition. We aren't going to win, and chances are that would help. I would help create a bigger fixture pile up later in the season. That's just what we need. And for next Tuesday, we're already through anyway, so it doesn't. All that's at stake is if we win the group against Fleetwood or not. I'm not too bothered about those games. The Plan B thing does concern me to a point, though, because, like Dino was saying, Dobson in particular at Rochdale had an absolute stinker, and bless him, I'm not going to try and slate him too much, but he could tell that there was literally half a dozen times under no pressure he conceded possession easily to Rochdale, and Parkinson should have had the foresight to see that and go, right, okay, even just to take him out of the firing line, because I bet he would have got a lot of stick for that performance, and rightly so. Get him off. Try and protect the lad a little bit, but he keeps him on, takes Maguire off, who, granted, doesn't always have the best of games, and I don't think has been that great recently, but you can tell that out of nothing like that, he can produce either a goal or assist or a good through ball. I would like to see Parkinson be more proactive with subs. I've made that pretty clear. However many times on here, on my own channel, wherever, I would like to see Parkinson be a bit more proactive, but I just think for the Plan B thing, for the next two games, try and implement something different. And if we get knocked out on Saturday, I'm not going to be not too bothered about it. We'll lose next Tuesday, boo-hoo, already through anyway. We've got nothing to lose for me in the next two games, so might as well try it then.
Well, that was going to be my next topic, Michael. I've written a few down. I was going to ask your opinions on that, but you sort of covered it. The FA Cup on Saturday against Mansfield. Is this a chance for the young players to get their chance now? I mean, it's a game. It's not. We're not. Let's be honest. We're not going to win the FA Cup. Do you know what I mean? Let's give all these youngsters a try. Do you agree, Gilesy?
100%, mate. I'd love to see Neil and Diamond in the team. That's a sure. I'd like to see like a different formation as well. Like even Gam 4-4-2. Maybe give Grigg a bit run out because he's keeping the bench warm at the minute, hasn't he? Yeah. And Danny Graham, maybe give him a little bit of time on the pitch as well, maybe in the second half. But you've got to put the youth in 100%, mate.
I just back to the live chat. Adam French says Parkinson's plan A, sit back. He's plan B, pass back. Jack Dodge says Dino makes a good point, but surely we could try a more creative midfield with Neil. That's what we've just been talking about. The youngsters should get a chance. Dano, do you think the youngsters will get a chance on Saturday in the FA Cup against Mansfield?
I was going to say something about Chris Maguire, how he's not having so many good games. It's because he's playing out of position. He's not a striker. If he's playing a two up top, he's playing Maguire up front. Maguire is not a striker. You play him in his right position, or you're not going to get the best out of him. That's where you should be having someone like Graham up front or Grigg. But on the FA Cup and the Papa John's Trophy, obviously in the Papa John's Trophy, you've got to play a couple of first-team players. That's in the rules. You've got to play 5 first-team players or something. So then that's the time to put in someone like Dobson, like who's lower confidence. You put in the low confidence players, Will, Grigg, and stuff like that. Try and get the confidence up, get them some game time. The thing is, all right, you're going to see the kids in them games like the FA Cup. and the checker trade and stuff, the Papa Johns and whatever. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter how good what's he called? What's he called again?
Each week someone has said Neil Diamond. It's fine.
Dan Neil. So if Dan Neil and Jack Diamond have worldies, have the best games ever, they're still not going to get in the starting lineup for the league. So it doesn't even matter how good they play. Phil Parkinson will not put them in. It's as simple as that. You'll only put them in if we're down to the bare bones with the squad, with injuries and suspensions. So if they play well done to them. But it's a waste of time for them because they're not going to get the game under this man. Simple as that.
Well, Michael, you've sort of covered it, to be fair. So I'll go to Conrad and I'll go back to the live chats.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't want to throw the games away. I saw someone just put in the chat just before. I don't think I could handle losing to Joey Barton one more time. Just to watch him in his post-match interview be like, I figured them out. I know them better than them. I'm just like, I was going to swear, I just hate him. I'm going to hold it back because I'm not paying the first pound into this swear jar, Sean. But then Mansfield, I think it's just winning breeds a good sort of confidence in the team. Do you know what I mean? And if we get the youngsters in, like you were saying, like Neil, like Diamond, even Sanderson, give him a bit of more game time as well. Why not throw Benji in for these 2 games? He's been playing really well in the under-23s, and
I think he's injured, hasn't he?
I think he's injured there, Conrad. I'm sure he's
throw him in anyway. Just give it a go. Yeah. He wants to earn his way back in. Play injured. Let me see how much you want it.
Back to the live chat. Stephen Enzo says, Jacob, can I have your scarf? Laughing out loud.
Which one?
The Arsenal one.
DNSAC.
Oh God, here we go.
To be honest, Sean, fans of the party. Well, that's he divides the fans' opinions, doesn't he? Jacob, what's your opinion on that on the game on Saturday? Do you think he should be playing the youngsters? Do you think the youngsters should be given a chance?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I understand Michael's point a little bit. How the cup competitions, the longer you stay in them, that they do create a fixture pile up at the end of the season. But let's be honest, we're not going to win the FA Cup. We know that, but come on, we should be beating someone like Mansfield Town at home, even with our second team. Yeah, I'd 100% throw the youngsters in. If the one player I was looking forward to seeing, if he's fully fit by what we're saying on here, it looks like he's not, Benji Kimmioka, because it looks like he's been a goal-scoring machine for our under-23s this season. But also Elliot Embleton. I've watched the highlights of one of his goals against, was it Aston Villa, under-23s. It was a brilliant link-up play and he finished it well into the far corner. So I think to have him in the squad and give him a run out, let him get back into the pace of things again, we could potentially see him in the squad for a league game, at least someone who can add a bit of attacking flair coming off the bench. But yeah, I think we 100% need to throw a few kids in the squad on Saturday. I think it will give them a whole load of confidence and just it will show that the manager has belief in them, that they could potentially make an impact as the season goes along, because they 100% need that right now. Otherwise, they're going to look elsewhere. And even though, yeah, we're not going to win the FA Cup this season, but what I'm expecting is a solid display and us to come out with a convincing win.
It would be pure banter, though, for Sunderland to go really far in the FA Cup while we're in League One and then throw it away when we get to Wembley again.
Back of the live chat.
Sunderland.
Would be, wouldn't it?
See, Jack Dodds has just said, what's going on tonight? Dano was making points I agree with, and he's laughing. Karen, Philly's wife's just in the chat there. Even lad, sorry I'm not available for Michael's biology lesson tonight.
I've just seen that.
Karen.
Right, obviously the next topic was obviously the game against MK Dons. I know we've got the Mansfield game on Saturday, then we've got Fleetwood on Tuesday, but what everybody's thinking about at the minute is that MK Dons game. And have you seen, but today, McLaughlin and Flanagan got called up for Northern Ireland. So on the 14th of November, will that game go ahead? I really hope it does, because I think we wouldn't do without keeping postponing the games. I mean, we're already one game behind. If we postpone that, it's going to be two. I'd rather just take a chance, let them two go on national duty, and then bring the players in who were brought in. I think it's, what's your thoughts on that, Michael? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, obviously we had to talk about it in the group chat earlier, didn't we? I really hope. I think Sunderland would be insane to postpone the game, because well, as much as we have got to earn the result, you would like to think we should have enough to beat MK Dons. But at the same time, look, we've already postponed one game, haven't we? We've postponed the Blackpool game. So as far as I'm concerned, we should be playing it. Apparently, I think someone replied to one of my tweets today and said that apparently they were talking to James Hunter, and apparently that according to him, Parkinson is giving out the word that he's planning to play the game. Because obviously, as you've probably seen today, Tom Flanagan and Conor McGlotton have been called up to the Northern Ireland squad. But I think you have to. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a rule? Is the rule that you have to have three call-ups to be able to postpone the game? So can none of our players get called? Can none of our players get called up again for this international thing, please? So we actually haven't got a choice. I'd like to, because you don't want to lose further ground already. In some respects, we've got away with it the first time because we've managed to claw a gap to 1 point off top two. But you don't want to risk that again. No chance.
Conrad, you want to be on that?
Will a lot of that? I know we need a third person to call it off there, but do you reckon they're waiting to see how Willis does? Because if you think that's two of the back three, and if they don't want to play 09 in there and then Sanderson, you've still got. Do you reckon if Willis is going to be there, they might be waiting on to see if he can
maybe
make that game?
Maybe.
That's a fair point, Nick. Dino, what's your thoughts on that game against MK Dons? Should it be played or should it be postponed?
Well, obviously, I'd want to play it, but Conrad makes a good point. I mean, you're losing two of our defenders. Willis isn't exactly 100% fit. I know we've got Dion Sanderson, but if we get an injury, we're fucked. Put it this way, we'll be fucked if we get an injury. So for me, I think Stuart Donald will be doing everything he can to try and get that game called off. I really do. Because that's two of your main defenders at the moment, because you can't say we're going to play Willis and then risk him getting another injury if he isn't fully fit. So it is a big risk, and you're going to be playing players out of position anyway. So, I mean, I don't want to say called off, but I think it's a bit disrespectful to say we should expect to win against MK Dons, even though I still don't feel like we're full strength team yet. We still don't have a full strength team, in my opinion. And don't get us wrong, when we've played MK Dons, they've always give away a game. Can you not remember last season when it took a wonder strike from Gooch just to win that game? So let's not be silly and say, oh, we're going to win MK Dons. At the end of the day, they're going to turn up and think we can win Sunderland. And I know Michael's going to bite. I can see Michael's going to bite.
Okay, I'm going to be civil about this. I'm not going to rise to it too much. All I'll say is, I'm going to answer with a question. Would you be happy with a draw against MK Dons?
No.
Exactly. I know Jacob asked the question.
But Michael, every single team in this league will go, we want to win. We want to every team who comes exactly. So when we get beat,
it doesn't mean you can't expect the win though.
Yeah, I expect the win. Yeah, you expect the win. But if we don't win, I'm not irate about it. You're going to get beaten games. I mean, if every single team thought, we're going to win, and they get beat, and they whinge about it. I mean, how Man City get turned over by teams that should be beaten. It can happen. Like I say, a team can turn you over on every given day. So let's give MK Dons a bit of respect. They can turn you over. We cannot perform. So
let's put it this way. I'll put it this way. That's the main reason why every time I get asked if I think Sunderland's going to win a game, every time I get asked, do I think Sunderland's going to beat this team? It's why I always go for a close scoreline. I never go for us to actually batter anyone, because I know that other teams are going to treat us like a cup final in some respects and actually give her a game. But if you've got to look at it, we can't be looking at. Put it this way: yes, we've got to respect MK Dons. You're absolutely right. We only just narrowly beat them twice last season. But at the end of the day, for me, we should be going into this game thinking if we're at our absolute best, we're good enough to get a comfortable victory. I'm not saying steamroll them, but we should be good enough to get the result. Because after that, you've got Doncaster and you've got Fleetwood. Two pretty tough games. So I'm not saying MK Dons won't be tough, but for me, if we're not looking to beat MK Dons, then.
Michael, do you not think every game in this league's not tough? Regarding who it is. I mean, have we had an easy game really? Technically not. We've only just we've never
probably one game out of 10 we've had an easy game, to be fair.
Do you know what I mean? So you want to win. Every team wants to win. I mean, MK Dons will say we need to be Sunderland so we're not in the relegation zone. So I believe every team goes into playing every single when we go into the games we expect to win. I believe every other team's the same.
Right.
Everyone wants 3 points.
Sorry, I was just keeping track of what was going
Lads,
on.
I'm just going to go back to the live chats. Duran Punch and says Dino is the double of Aaron of Emmerdale. Clayton Edward says
Don't watch Emmerdale, so I don't know.
Clayton Edward says Jacob dresses like Adam Barlow.
Oh, from Curry.
I don't watch EastEnders. I don't know who that is.
It's from Curry.
They're all
from Curry, see? I haven't a clue who that is.
Right, anyway, Jacob, do you think the game should go ahead on the MK Dons game on the 14th, or do you think it should be postponed?
I agree with you, Sean. For me, I think the fixture pile-up at the end of the season is like adding more pressure going into the second half of the campaign to get results. So I would like to see the game played, and we should have enough like quality in our squad to beat MK Dons, even with a few second choice players out, even though it looks like Flanagan and McLaughlin will be on international duty. I do understand some concerns about the defence, but I think Willis, he will play the next 2 games to get his match fitness up, and him as a centre-back pairing with Bailey Wright, I think will be enough to get us over the line. I mean, it's looking like, from what we hear with what Michael said there, that the game will be played, as the club tweeted this afternoon. The fixture against MK Dons has been selected for an overseas broadcast, which is obviously good for the overseas
I've just seen it.
But like we've touched on, knowing Phil Parkinson or whoever makes the decision, or could be Stuart Donald, who knows, they will do whatever it takes to get that game called off. And if it is Stuart Donald, it just sums it up, to be honest. I mean, look at do you remember where it was towards the back end of last season where the Southend away game fell on an international weekend, and Southend were more or less relegated, and they still chose to postpone that game, even though we had like a fully fit. I think there was only 1 or 2 call-ups at that time, and we still chose not to play the game. So it should be played, the MK Dons game, but if it was to be postponed, it really wouldn't surprise me, I'll tell you.
Didn't Southend beat us as well when we played them?
No, we beat them 1-0. We were due to play them at
the season beforehand. They beat us.
Yeah,
the season beforehand they beat us, but that was when we'd already been resigned to the playoffs because we had nothing to play for, and they were scrapping for every point to avoid relegation. But yeah, they did beat us.
I know what you feel though, Dean. It does feel like we've been here a really long time.
Right, back to the live chat. Colin Major says, Gilesy, you know you've made it when you're a guest on SAFC Fan TV. That's a good one.
Buzzing.
Dino, there's a lot of people agreeing with you in the chat, right? Actually, a lot of people. Matt Tracy says, Gilesy, you've already made it, Colin. Right, anyway, the next subject was on the
Wait there, Sean. Do you not have a say as well? Like, do you not have a say? You haven't said. You're just asking questions. You're not saying it yourself.
I'm trying to
good
keep
point. Yeah, Sean. Answer all the questions you've asked us.
I'm just diverting at the ears. Well, I'll tell you what. I firmly believe that the first season under Jack Ross, and that's different now, but we had a lot of games to catch up with, and I think the postponement of the games, I think that didn't help. I'm not saying that's a poor excuse, really saying that's the reason why we didn't get promoted. Yeah. We didn't get promoted because we weren't good enough. But for me, I think you've got 2 defenders out there, but then you've got other ones that can come in. And now I've had a couple of bad injuries and stuff, but as a squad, you've got to use your squads. And we don't want to be 2 games down and then another game down. Do you know what I mean? So for me personally, I think it's got to be played. That game's got to be played. I think Parkinson's got to either have a word with. We're not sure who actually has the final say, but I think Parkinson should be, if he's ambitious and he's looking at this, he's got to say to Donald, I want to play this game. And that MK Dons, not being disrespectful, but we should win the game. But that's just my view on it, lads. You know what I mean? Anyway, going on to the next topic. I'm going off the football a bit here. Well, the takeover talk. It's went a bit quiet, right? Is there actually a takeover, or is it a fake over? Gilesy, what do you mean? Is there a takeover, or is it a load of crap?
Well, it would have been. We would have. He would have set up by now if it was real. Let's be honest. I just think he's gone and held on till he says our day in this season, and if we get promoted, then he might sell it. or he might even wait when we're in the Championship to see how we crack on in there, thinking of bigger money for the Prem. But I didn't believe as if takeover now.
Conrad, takeover or fake over?
Do you work on Love Island with these little things like that? Jesus. No, I don't think it's real. I know you're mates with Will.
William Story.
Yeah, but nah, I just don't think it's real. I keep hearing the word friends, football friends, made up football friends. It's just going to be a reshuffle, isn't it? Like you said with your salmon pants the other night and Stuart Donalds, they're just going to swap percentages of the club and things like that and still leech onto us, aren't they? So,
Michael, take over or take over?
Sorry, say that again. There's a bunch of fireworks going off and I couldn't hear that.
Yeah,
take over or take over? Is there a takeover? Is it all a pie in the sky?
Donald and Methven have a makeover. Yeah, that was terrible. I think Jacob might have mentioned this before, and I'm actually starting to agree with him. That I think it's. I don't think it's looking likely that we're going to actually get a takeover until we get the Championship. And I know, and I'm saying that as eventually I think Sunderland will get the Championship. God, I hope it's this season. But whatever season it is, that's when I think we'll probably see real takeover stuff happening, because it is more difficult to, sell a club in League One, I suppose. But at the end of the day, I would still expect people to have interest in Sunderland. But I think assuming Jacob still stands by that opinion, I believe it won't happen until we get the Championship.
Fair point, Michael. Dino?
It's a load of bollocks, man. How man? Let's be fair. It's since the start of this campaign. I mean, on our COVID came along and stuff like that. But it's just been one of these things. It's been rumoured. Then your mate William Story, he's going to take it. And then he's all quiet. And then it's somebody else. And then you've got Philly's contacts saying this, that, and the other. It's all a load of bullshit, man. I mean, if it was going to happen, why would it happen now? Why would they do it in November? That's just stupid time to sell the club. He's not going to sell it because he's got a good chance of going up this season. It's as simple as that. He might be talking to people, but it's not going to happen this season. That's 100% fact. It won't happen this season because you could jeopardise going up with all the off-stuff shenanigans and everything. Like, the players not focusing because they wonder who's going to take over. Does that mean Phil Parkinson's going to keep his job? Does that mean I'm going to be out next season and all this stuff? It's a load of bollocks, man. He's not going to sell up. And if it does happen, it'll probably be next season, because I don't think Donald can keep even if we're in league, if we don't even get promoted, because I don't believe crowds will be back until next season. So it's not going to happen this season. Not a chance.
Back to the live chat, and also remember to subscribe to our channel. It doesn't cost a penny. Hopefully we can get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If we can get them before Christmas, it'll be even better. And also remember to subscribe to Gilesy. He's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so subscribe to him. And Michael Bowes is trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, so please subscribe to their channels respectively. Clayton Edwards in the live chat says Dave the Rear for Prime Minister. Liam SAFC says Dino for the Chairman of Sunderland. Chris Scott says Dino for the Prime Minister. Sean's not going
to do worse than War Boris.
Anyway, Jacob, is there a takeover, or is it all a load of crap?
Nah, like I've said before, nothing's going to happen till next summer, until we know what division we're in. To be honest, I'm kind of sick at the moment of hearing takeover news, because it just turns out to be a load of rubbish. To be honest, right now, I think even from a fan's point, I think most fans are sick of hearing it now. I think all the fans want to focus on is how the team is performing, the current squad we have, and what we can do with that current squad in order that we do win promotion at the end of the season, and then the next steps come after that. But yeah, it all depends on what division we're in. But at the same time, like we've said, Stuart Donald and Charlie Methven, they'll try their absolute best to cling on to any money that they can, even if we do win promotion. And I know how Michael Bowers said, Donald and Methven for a makeover, they might as well become Laurel and Hardy, to be honest, because they're just so clumsy. You just don't trust them when they're a football club. You would trust them for the considerable future.
Right, back to the live chat. Thean says, you've got more chance of Sean getting his willy out than his takeover happening. Right. Andrew
Just going to
Robbins.
say now, don't. Just-
Yeah, don't encourage
right.
him.
The salmon pants is enough.
Yeah.
Andrew Robbins says fake over Stewart is nothing but a liar and a thief and a con man. Oh well, it's it's just a matter of opinions,
Was that the online shopper saying that?
Yeah, that's the online shopper.
Has
That's
Phil
the
turned
online
up to his
shopper,
house
innit?
yet?
Yeah,
Has Phil
it's Phil
turned up to his house yet?
He's grafting still.
He's
That's
still
what I
out.
mean. See if he's actually got that to his house yet.
Right. My opinion on the takeover. I mean, Nick Barnes was feeding us the information, wasn't he? Has he been fed lies by Donald's associates? I mean, what am I doing now? It's the window's shut. There's no fans in the stadium. I mean, I put a tweet the other day on Twitter. I don't know if any of you seen it. I was basically saying, what can somebody do differently now until January? You know what I mean? William Story told me like the other day, it's a change of hands. There's no takeover. He was trying to buy the club. I don't know whether he's telling the truth or not. But if it's a change of hands and Donald retains any stake, comes to the next point I was going to make about season card refunds and Stuart Donald. I haven't accessed the streaming pass, and if you've got a season card, I bought a season card. But if you access the streaming pass, you weren't eligible for a refund. Now I haven't done that. But what I basically said on Twitter the other day was, if Donald, if he sells the club and he doesn't retain any stake, then I'll not apply for a refund. If he retains any stake at all, 5, 10, 15 or 20, then I will be getting a refund. Dino, what's your views on that? I know you haven't got a season card, but if you did get a season card, would you want a refund?
You would want a refund for the simple fact it's £300. I mean, the streams, the stream's not even worth that, to be fair. If you're going to watch all 46 games, home and away, that is £460. So you would be saving money in a way, but you pay to go and watch your team at home, not to watch it on a stream, which, like, the streams haven't been the best. They've been buffering for loads of people. The picture quality's been terrible. The camera angles are awful. I mean, £300 at the moment's a lot for people because people are on furlough. People have lost jobs. Like me, I lost my job, as Sean knows. I mean, it's a lot of money. So for me, if you haven't accessed the stream pass, you should be 100% be able to get a refund. If you've watched, don't get us wrong, if you have watched the streams, you should still be able to get a refund in a way. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but do you know what I don't understand? Why in England it costs us a tenner, but for the foreign people, for the like going to other countries, it's less. I don't understand that.
It's a good point. That doing a very good point, mate. It says here, Cameron Jones just says it's definitely gone back earlier on. It's definitely a fake over when it's regarding Stuart Donald. Umar MFC says when Dino speaks, everyone is quiet. He's the leader of the SCFC Fan TV. He also says Dino is the Roy Keane of SCFC Fan TV. Don't mess with him. Thanks for that, Dan. Jacob, what's your feelings on the season card? Obviously, would you get a refund or not?
Yeah, I thought you were going to have to come back to me there. Me neighbours are setting off fireworks in their garden. Noise is horrendous, but yeah, it's a bit with me because obviously the only season card I've had is in the 2018-19 season, the first in League One when I was at university. So other than that, I've never had a season card following the club. I only managed to get up for 4 or 5 home games a season. So it's hard to comment from my point of view, but yeah, I can understand people's frustration in terms of paying the £300 for a streaming pass, and even there's been complaints like during the game saying the stream's awful, whether that could be the connection or whether some people were saying that some of the camera angles, particularly at the away games, have not been great at all. I mean, in the Gillingham game, I think where the gantry is, it was horrendous, sort of like to the left of the centre circle, sorry, to the right of the centre circle, wasn't it? And it wasn't great, but it's with the division we're in, you're going to have to accept it. But particularly with what the state the world's in right now, with the financial situation, with COVID going on, £300. Yeah, I can understand why people have been complaining about it.
Michael, would you? I know you've got a season card, but if you had one, would you be trying to get a refund?
Before I answer that, I just want to quickly point out on the chat, Ryan Cockton has just said, what was it? Hang on. Sorry about Dino saying you had lost his job. So sorry to hear, Dino, mate. Surely you can get a spot in Parky's squad. It's not hard to. If Dobson... Dino would probably offer more than George Dobson. But anyway, no. Yeah. Of course, fans should want a refund. We're in a time period now where people are financially going to be quite strained because of what's happening with the current pandemic. And, you know, I think it's like if you remember back to when the club released that very salty statement back in the summer about season cards, and it was basically like, should fans be entitled to refunds for such and such? And it was like, no, we're only gonna, you can only redeem them for, I don't know, the streams or whatever it was. I think, which I thought was quite insulting. For those of you who remember that original statement, it was basically being salty about people asking for refunds. And I thought that was very insulting to the fan base. And we all know Sunderland's not exactly the most well-off area in the country financially. And, you know, again, people have got, as much as we all love football, there are more important things than football that have to take priority over what your outgoing would be, whether you can actually have a roof over your head or actually be able to feed people. But yeah, people should be entitled to a refund. And I think it is a bit insulting again, where if you use your streaming pass once, you're not entitled to a refund for the rest of the season. It's like that's ridiculous. Disgusting. And being honest, like, you're paying £310 for. I mean, for me, for the most part, the streams have worked fine. But there's occasions. I think the other night, I don't know if it was what I was like with you, Sean. Obviously, when we were doing the live stream, a couple of times my stream was buffering for the good part of 2 minutes, and I had to log out and log back into the account again. I think right before half time, it went off completely. So, you know, expecting people to pay £300 for that, do us a favour. Of course, people should want a refund. It'd be insulting to suggest otherwise. Right. Before I come to you, Conrad, and obviously Jazzy, I'm just going to get the live chat. Joanne Punchin says, doing a great job, lads. Thanks, Joanne. She's a great supporter of the channel and an absolute lovely woman as well. Karen Monk, obviously Philly's wife, just says, we're doing a grand job. Cheers, Karen. Thanks very much. The online cereal shopper, Andrew Robbins, he says, unfortunately, the wallet's empty, as is Stuart Donald's. Anyway, Conrad, if you had a season card, I know you haven't got one, but if you had one, would you be trying to get a refund?
I had one. Well, I've had one for years. I got my refund for the last year's games just because it was that straight thing of I didn't want to watch the stream of the game. I paid to go to the ground, so of course I redeemed my money back, even though it took, what was it, like 5-6 months for them to refund it when the season was ended well beforehand on there. I didn't bother renewing this because I knew that as soon as that statement came out that Mike was on about, it was just like, give us all your money and we'll make you jump through hoops if you want it back if something goes wrong. And it was just like, why would I give you 300 to 400 quid when you're offering me something that is not equal value of that? Yes, I know I'm seeing the same game as being in the stadium, but it's not the same as being in the stadium with everyone else. It's been quite difficult, actually, even sitting and watching the games now. I do find myself sitting on my phone a lot more, sort of looking up when the commentators sort of get a bit excited, like something's happening, or when you used to on your live stream. It's not the same as being in it, so you can't price it as the same as being in the ground. So then when they're going like, it's like £300-400 for every game on a live stream. No, I'm not doing it. Like, I'll watch, like I said, if Mad Mistake was doing one before, I was watching that, or when you've been doing, I've been watching that. I'm not paying for something that is not the same as sitting in the ground with all the fans chanting that Steve Bruce song that I can't think of off the top of my head now. Wall's End. That's it. It's been a long time.
And he's from Wall's End.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jazzy, if you had a season card, I don't know if you renewed for the season, Jazzy.
I think I'm the only mug hero who's done it.
I have as well. Like,
Mugs. They're absolute mugs.
For a refund, miss?
Well, to be honest, I only done it for the YouTube channel, really. Like, and to be honest, I think it was about October time we were supposed to be going back into the stadium before COVID kicked off, like for the second time. So I was thinking, oh no, just held on. But then again, it's happened again, and so I'm glad I did in a way. But my stream's been spot on, to be honest. But the away stream, it does buffer sometimes. And like Jacob was saying, I think it was the Gillingham game when it was pissing down the rain. The camera was practically rigged above, like say, look, one time when he was coming along the Twitch line, and you couldn't. It was awkward. Couldn't make much out, and it's like you say, it's not the same as being in the stadium. How they can say that it's with it being a season card, it's the same price. Like you should be getting discounted somewhere along the lines because it's not the same at all. The atmosphere, the day out, everything, man. It's just they should be refunding people just even a little bit. You know what I mean? Especially with the COVID crisis, what's happening and all.
Going back to the live chat, Jack Dodds just says about the streams. The commentators are really bad, but he'd like to see Michael and Dino arguing over the match than that.
Dino, I think Dino and me are in popular demand here. We need to do a live stream.
Yeah, you need to get yourselves on the live stream together.
Half the argument will be on Max Bloody Power.
In the live chat as well, India says she thinks that Dave the Rave would do a better job than Stuart Donald and Charlie Bethson.
Someone's in love with Dave the Rave, I'm just saying. She's in love with Dave the Rave, that's every comment.
Anyway, lads,
Sean. Let's not forget what the club tried to do. If you remember, when people did cancel the season ticket cards, they actually made people renew them. Like where people cancelled them, but then somehow they came back up as you hadn't cancelled them. So they tried to get more money, which I thought was I still don't understand how that happened, to be honest. And then Jim Rodwell came out with some bullshit. And let's be fair, not everybody is like our generation. You've got people who are in the 50s and 60s who have got season cards. Then how would them even know how to go about going on a live stream, making accounts and emails and that? I mean, not everyone's as clued up with computers and emails and stuff like that. So it's wrong because it focuses on like my generation, like our generation, where we know what to do. As in when there's a 60-year-old and a 70-year-old who don't have a clue. So for me, the club's done so much wrong during the lockdown. It's been unbelievable.
Good point, Dino. Good point. Right, lads, time's running out. I'm just going to get the last couple of points before we finish. Obviously, all the games are being played behind closed doors. Will the full season get played behind closed doors? Jacob, I'll go with you first.
Yeah, it's looking that way, isn't it? I mean, the government is saying that this lockdown will only be until the 2nd of December. I really can't see that being the case, to be honest, particularly when they've extended the furlough scheme until March next year. I think
exactly.
Yeah, it's more or less confirmed now, hasn't it? And even if there's till next year, there's not enough time to put the safety measures in place to get the fans back. Even though it's an absolute disgrace how there's been like the Royal Albert Hall in London being full to capacity and people aren't allowed to attend football matches in the open air. I just don't understand it at all, which was why the petition started on Twitter. But yeah, to be honest, I think it's the norm now, to be honest. I think people are used to it. What I do worry is say for next season this all clears up and you're trying to encourage to get the fans to go back, it will be like a very slow rebuilding process because people are just going to be so used to watching it on their screens. And
Jacob, now says we haven't got much time left.
Yeah, no.
Conrad, quickly, just try and go through this.
I can't remember what your question was. I was reading the chat. Sorry.
Will every game be played behind the closed doors this season?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I'll save some time. Yes.
Michael, will it be the whole season be played behind closed doors?
Yes, but can we at least play to a point where we're top of the league and then finish the season on points per game like Wickham did last year?
Yeah, we vote to end when we're number one.
No,
like Trump.
We vote to end when points per game will get us up. There we go.
Dino?
I don't even think the season will get finished. I think there's teams in this league who can't financially do it, and obviously that's where Project Big Picture was going to come into it, but that got turned down. So I think there'll be a lot of clubs who might go under. So the season will have to finish, and that's why Sunderland need to still keep winning games, because if it does go to points per game, we don't want to get shafted. We want to be up there. So
definitely
the crowds won't be back for some time still, in my opinion, but I still don't think the season will get finished. I think it'll get finished early again.
Gilesy?
Totally agree with you. You know, I think some clubs will fold. I tweeted a picture of fans in New Zealand, and there was 33,000 sellout stadium in New Zealand, all packed with fans just the other day. So it's guttering that, but I agree with you. You know,
I've got to be honest with myself as well. I mean, there was talk about this. It's November. Then obviously now that the lockdown and the furlough scheme till March 2021, it doesn't look good. So it's a shame. I just hope, like as Dino says, he doesn't think the season will get finished. I hope it does, because it'll be a real shame if they've got to do that points per game thing again. Like, it'll be bad. Anyway, we're out of time, people. But obviously this Saturday, we're doing a live stream of the Mansfield game. Me, Michael, and Conrad's doing a live stream. So if you could, please join our show. We'll probably start around 2:45. Conrad, would you say?
Yeah, about 15 minutes before kickoff. So unless they delay it again.
2:45. So obviously, please come and join us for that. It should be good. I was just wanting one quick point as well. Obviously 10 games in. Just a quick, quick yes or no. Has it been a good start to this season? I mean, you've got to think we've played Peterborough, Charlton, Ipswich, Oxford sides. It was in the top 6. Has it been a good start, Michael?
Yes, considering who we've played, yes.
Jacob?
Yes, based on the squad we had to start with at the beginning of the season.
Dino?
Yes, apart from the Rochdale game, which we should have probably won, but yes, it's been a good start.
Conrad?
Yeah, I'd say so at the moment on there. Like I said before, can't seem to move out of 5th or 6th place, but yeah, it's a good start.
Gilesy?
Well, if Hull and Charlton lose their game at hand and we win, we'll go on second. So I think it's a really good start to the season.
Well, that just about wraps it up, everybody. Obviously, thanks for everybody in the live chat. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a great show. And also thanks to Gilesy, our special guest. Can we have a big round of applause for Gilesy? Cheers, pal.
Thank you.
Remember to subscribe to his channel, get him to 1,000 subscribers, and subscribe to Michael's, get him to 2,000 subscribers. So for myself, Conrad, Michael Bowers, Jip Kirkbride, Dino and Gilesy, bye for now.